Today, we are going to be talking about Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, so stay tuned. Welcome to The Real Review, sponsored by Parametric and Lazy Ape Studios, where you get some of the latest happenings, real thoughts, and perspectives in the world of film and television. Everybody, I am here with Joel, 25 millions, Cunningham.
25 millions. Is that from the movie?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, okay, yeah. I missed it. I am here with Matt. Do dinosaurs dream of eating sheep hay?
Absolutely, they do.
It's a play out. There's a...
Electric
We'll
sheep.
get into this, yeah. There's something to this movie where there was like a depth that they went to with the dinosaurs that I didn't expect. I'm not saying if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet, but they definitely went there with some of the dinosaur aspects. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. That is right. So welcome to the show. This is The Real Review. Welcome. If this is your first time joining us, or if it's your 197th time joining us.
Or your last time.
Whatever, it's all
morbid.
good. Anyway, so kind of what we do, how we break it down. Joel's a little bit more critical in his analysis and reviews of movies. He likes to deep dive into a lot of things and really get into the nitpicky things. Can sometimes be construed as negative.
I dive into the magma.
Yeah, sure. And then I am a little bit more emotionally excitable if it gets my feels, and tend to be a little bit more optimistic, positive, that kind of thing. We kind of blend it together.
It's a Claire and an Owen.
Right. So we have a little bit more of a conversation as far as that's go.
Although I don't wear heels.
Right, exactly. And we're gonna break this thing down for you. But Joel, first, why don't you tell the lovely people how they can get connected with us?
Sure. There's a number of ways that you can lovely get connected, you lovely people out there. Saying too many of those lovelies, but they are.
I like the lovelies. Go.
Cool. So, realreviewmedia.com is our website. Check us out on there. We also have our Facebook, which is facebook.com/realreviewmedia. We have our Instagram and Twitter, which are both at Real Review Media. As always, it's spelled REEL. And then additionally, we would love to hear your thoughts and perspectives. One of the things we've been thinking about doing is answering some questions live, pre-recordedly live.
Pre-recorded live.
On the podcast. So send us some questions if you've got them. If you had any thoughts, perspectives, we'd love to hear from you. We had one person comment on our Dumbo trailer post saying ick, I think was the exact.
I thought it looked fine.
Yeah, I thought it looked okay.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing how they handle those big ears. Actually, particularly the pink elephant scene. Interesting to see how that one's handled. Yeah. Anyway, email, if you want to shoot us an email, realreviewmedia@gmail.com. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Do it.
We have our YouTubes, which you're probably already aware of, but post it in the description, or you're watching us right now.
For sure. So as advertised, we are going to be diving into Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, the sequel to the 2015 film Jurassic World. Hooray. So let's break it down real quick. The synopsis: when the island's dormant volcano begins roaring to life, Owen and Claire mounted a campaign to rescue the remaining dinosaurs from the extinction level event, which is like half the movie.
Yep.
And then you have it starring, obviously, it's directed by J.A. Bayona, written by Derek Connolly and Colin Trevorrow, the same people who did the first one. And then Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Rafe Spall, Justice Smith, Daniela Pineda, James Cromwell, Toby Jones, Ted Levine, Jeff Goldblum for 5 minutes, B.D. Wong. So that's kind of the... and Isabella Sermon. I didn't want to forget her.
Of course not. How dare you?
Yeah, how dare I? Anyways, let me break it down real quick, kind of how I feel. I'll start off on this one, Joel.
Sure.
If you've been listening to the show or know me, I will automatically be on board with a movie if it factors in a few different things. One of them is some type of monster-esque element, to some type of almost like apocalyptic type of element. I will be automatically on board with that sort of thing, and that this movie has something like that going for it. For me, anyways. I liked the first Jurassic World. I know you weren't as big of a fan. And I think a lot of that had to do with kind of the buildup and just nothingness since we had Jurassic Park 3 back in 2001 or whatever it was.
Okay.
I liked this movie. I did not like it as much as Jurassic World. I have some reasons behind that, but I liked it overall. I did have some issues with it, and I actually took my wife to this. She didn't even know there was a new Jurassic World movie when I was like, "Hey, we're going to see." She's like, "Okay," and
that's
so
kind of
funny,
cool, I guess.
Yeah, and I had talked with her a little bit, and I know why I feel like some of the stuff in the movie bugged me, but overall, I liked it. I had a fun time with it. I thought it started off really strong, and from there we can talk about some other things. But what were you just overall?
Overall, this was definitely a step down for me.
Okay.
For the Jurassic Kingdom, I'm going to say at this point.
Sure, yeah.
I think I did not like the movie. If I had to say
Sure.
or dislike kind of a rating, there was just a lot of elements to this film which almost felt like lowest common denominator filmmaking for me.
Okay.
There was a lot of elements to it that just felt like bland and goofy, even, which
Sure.
I don't expect or hope or want in a Jurassic movie. I mean, there's really two elements, and this is where I'm going to break into the whole detail kind of guy, but
Yeah.
what I really think are two elements that played into the first film's success so much. There's a lot of elements there. You have Steven Spielberg at the height of his career and his abilities. There was this huge coming together of CGI and practical effects.
Groundbreaking. Yeah.
It's groundbreaking, great acting, great story, all that kind of stuff. But one of the things that made the movie transcend beyond just being like a summer blockbuster for that period and become something that really continues on, I believe, and has allowed for the inspiration for numerous sequels after that, is the main theme and tone and the presentation that was created with that first film.
Sure.
And it's two ideas. It's this idea of sort of wonder, of like, wow, look at these dinosaurs that were supposed to be dead and now they're back, and the mixture of the CGI and the interactions with the dinosaurs, then quickly turning to horror, all informing this idea that man has taken one step too far forward into
As
just
Jeff Goldblum always reminds us.
right, exactly that, because of man's desire to just do something and be something, they've ended up creating this monster.
They didn't stop to think if they should.
Right, exactly. So, but the first film works so perfectly because it's those two. It's like this teeter-totter. You're at the beginning of the film, you're in wonder, you're in awe, you're like, wow, look at that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it very quickly shifts to boom. Now it's horrific. People are getting eaten. Arms are getting chopped off, by dinosaurs.
Right.
Crazy things are happening. And the thing that the films have done well up until continued to do well pretty much all the way through, but not even as well with this one, is that horror element. It's very much been a part of each of the films.
Right.
The dinosaurs chomping around on people and
Yeah.
stamping on them, and it's been horrific, but it has ceased to get to the point where you can get to a Jurassic film where you're going to be like, wow, to me. They had a small opportunity with that, with the last one to me.
You mean the Jurassic World?
Yeah, Jurassic World, because there had been such a long delay between the films. They were relaunching, they kind of are doing their own thing. And it was almost like an updating of the dinosaurs with modern technology and modern sensibilities. And so there's a way to re-see, I think, the dinosaurs in a wondrous type way. And they kind of got there.
That was
with
our
the park.
first. What I liked about that movie so much was it was the first fully realized open park that we've ever seen.
Right. And that in that way, that's why I kind of thought there was that element of that. And they didn't go in that direction, though.
Right.
They went in a direction more of look at the stupid humans, messing with the dinosaurs and not realizing the danger that they're possessing, and it turned into just a monster flick. This one almost felt like two movies that literally they just took plot A and plot B and then just stuck them next to each other and then had mini story arcs within both.
Right.
And in and of themselves, there was nothing that was absolutely awful about the two, but it definitely created this sense of I don't see how these two are connected. It was almost like the two writers for it just kind of you write that part, I'll write this part, and we'll just stick it together. And I can get more into detail. I want to let you keep talking.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
No, so
I gotta watch myself with this one because this is when I could start ranting.
All right,
I know
right.
myself. Yeah.
Joel the ranter.
Yeah.
So let me get into a lot of the things that I liked about this. A lot of this, for the most part, the CG was a lot better than what we saw in Jurassic World, and I think a lot of that has to do with the director knowing what works best for CG animation. Something that I always come back to, especially rewatching Jurassic World, is Colin Trevorrow coming into his own. That was his first major thing, doing anything with major CG work in the first Jurassic World. A lot of his shots were in bright daylight.
Yeah.
And that's the most ineffective as far as cost is associated, and actually to making it look realistic as far as if you're going to use CG. Bayona does something clever where a lot of his takes place at night or in like a lot of overcast, a lot of darker elements, which can lead to helping it make it look more realistic. So I thought the CG overall looked a lot better, just in general. There was a lot of I thought the opening sequence for this movie was awesome. I really, really love the opening sequence. And I thought it was a good, like, all right, hey, we're getting back into that train again. Let me just put it this way. Jurassic Park is in my top 5 favorite movies, the original of all time.
Oh, for sure.
And
it's high up there for
it's
me.
the first movie that I remember going to the theater as a child to see.
Okay.
I was like 6-ish. I don't know, Mom, Dad, if you're listening, you have to remind me later. I don't remember. Whatever.
Shoot us an email.
Yes.
Real
Exactly.
If you know how old Matt was.
Yeah. So, it's my earliest memory, but obsessed since a kid. I love dinosaurs, and that's why I think no matter how anybody views these movies, it's always going to have a special place in my heart because of it's been a part of who I am growing up.
Yeah.
And so I will always lean towards a positive side with these films. I always try to give it the benefit of the doubt. Even Jurassic Park 3 Revisiting, which isn't a very good movie, I will always give that movie the benefit of the doubt because it's Jurassic Park, So, okay. I'm maybe a little blind when it comes to seeing some faults in some of these things.
Yeah.
So I did enjoy myself, and I did have fun with it. My issues, I guess before I jump into issues, is there anything, because I know you're probably less, is there anything that you liked particular about it?
I mean, the dinosaur stuff that took place as far as, when the dinosaurs are actually out there like chomping on people and stuff, that was fun.
Yeah.
It was what you kind of expect
right.
At the end of the day with a Jurassic Park film is that eventually the dinosaurs are going to get out and start eating people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those elements played out fine.
Yeah. Okay.
That's kind of the big positive.
Okay.
I mean, to be honest, yeah.
So let me dive into...
And that doesn't mean everything else was bad. It just means that everything else just kind of reached an okay level.
Like
I think even
vanilla?
for me, like even the CG in this one, just there wasn't anything outstanding about the visual effects to me that really went above and beyond. There was definitely some shots I'm like, especially with some of the dinosaurs later in the film that I'm like, okay, that looks very... non-real,
Mm-hmm.
There was some practical shots they made use of, like, the old practical T-Rex and everything like that, like within the trailer scene.
Sure.
I'm not going to spoil, but, and I could appreciate that, but yeah, there was definitely a lot of shots I'm like, okay, I can tell that's not a real dinosaur right there. Not that I would ever be,
right.
But
so here's a couple things that I'm having an issue with, and I'm kind of wrestling with it in my mind is, the movie since Jurassic World, you're never, ever going to reach back to the magic of the first one. There's never going to be a Jurassic movie that's going to have the magic of the first one.
Yeah.
So...
agreed. And I wasn't expecting that.
Right.
I'm just saying that they've kind of they're already working against something that's going to be presenting a bit of a challenge for them, which is coming up with a new type of theme that fits within these films. And I didn't felt like anything really resounded strongly enough in this one beyond kind of the idea of corporate greed. That was like kind of the only story that was really there that had any tone to it. I expect better of the director of this. We have J.A. Bayona, who did A Monster Calls, and that was such a layered kind of deep story. And I know he didn't write this film.
It's not his fault as far as the story.
There's a lot of studio. I could tell there was just like 4 or 5 different elements to this film. I'm like, okay, that's studio mandating.
Yeah.
There was 2 characters specifically in the film that I think only existed there, and I hate to do this, but it really only felt like they were trying to check boxes for like a diversity quota.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like, they didn't need to be in the film, the characters in and of themselves. I'm like, I'm fine with you putting whoever in there, race, ethnicity, whatever it is, but give them a purpose, give them a meaning.
No, I gotcha.
And that frustrated me. And then, sorry, I'm already ranting here. I'm gonna let you go,
okay?
Because I'll just start going off.
So
you're gonna have to hold me in.
No, I was gonna say my thing with this movie, which is really interesting to me, because you'd think it'd be opposite, but I felt like there was too much happening. Too much. It was too much pedal to the metal when it was the action. which I think took away from some of the suspense elements.
Yeah.
They boasted, oh, there's more dinosaurs than any other Jurassic movie, like combined or whatever, in this film. I'm like, that's cool, but is there a purpose to it? Is it serving the story? Which I felt like a lot of what was happening was, let's just make them in peril every 3 seconds and try and escape. And that was what I was talking with my wife about, actually. And she's had the same exact thing. There was just too much, like too many almost like close calls of people just getting eaten. But it was like, it was nonstop.
Yeah.
Where it happened like if you look at the original film or even the first Jurassic World, is like, you know, there's a couple of instances where people almost get eaten, but it wasn't like every 3 seconds.
Right.
Like they were dodging, you know, stuff left and right.
This film was like, if you're a good character, if you're a protagonist, then there's going to be a lot of close calls, but you're mostly going to be okay. If you're antagonist, then it's like you're dead.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of like when that death is going to occur.
Right.
And it was never about that with Jurassic Park movies. It was always like, there were some people that you kind of didn't like as much and you thought they were probably going to get it, but we're all people here.
Yeah.
You know, we're all suffering from getting eaten by them. Nobody deserves to get their face chomped on by a dinosaur, except for one person from the original.
You have another issue with this movie is, and I didn't even realize it going back to it. I ended up going back and rewatching some of the stuff that I'd seen, but I remembered seeing a lot of stuff in the trailers. There's so much given away in the trailers.
A ton. Yeah.
Like there's like stuff given away in the trailers that happens in the last 30 seconds of the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Like shots. There's multiple shots. And I'm like, even in the climax part of this film, there are stuff given away in the trailers. I'm like, well, what is happening here?
Yeah.
It was crazy. There's kind of a twist. I felt like what had happened, and they just didn't pull it off, obviously, as well. I didn't have too much a problem with the transition and where they were going with the plot in the second half. However, I did feel like it was like Colin Trevorrow and Derek Connolly were, they had been watching a lot of Black Mirror lately, and they're like, let's do this. Because I felt like they were trying to go that route. Like, let's make this really weird thing that's happening. And and I understand that. How they got there didn't make complete sense.
The second part was an interesting concept to me, but it played out so stupidly.
Yeah.
And in the context of the films and the world, it didn't make any sense.
Right. So I was kind of like, I do like, however, and this is probably where we're going to differ. I do like how it ended, because how it ended is different than anything that I've seen in Jurassic. And because the one thing that I've kind of grown tired of is people go to an island. There's a formula for these movies. People go to the island. Oh, cool. There's 7. This thing I joke about with my dad all the time. All right, how many people are they sending to this island? Great, 17 people. That means, 15 of them are going to die. Yeah. And we're going to see them die in a unique way.
Yeah.
This one ends in a different way, which breaks the formula a little bit. And I don't have any idea where they're going to take this thing. I have no idea. This next movie comes out in 3 years, and I have no idea what's going to happen. I am curious. Cautiously optimistic to see that maybe they do something very cool. We don't know. But overall, I thought it was just too much. And that was my problem. It was too much near escapes, where the near escapes were drained of all suspense because they're like, this just happened, 3 seconds ago. They're going to escape again. Just, barely. I did enjoy myself, though. I did like it. I liked it better than my wife did. I know I liked it better than you did. But, any other like glaring issues, I guess, that you? Yeah,
I mean, where do I start?
Okay.
I mean, I'll try and keep it limited. One of the biggest was, even the opener, which you liked, and I think I liked the action of the opener, but in the context again of what takes place later in the film and the overall context of the world, didn't really make a lot of sense to me. It didn't make sense why they did it the way they did it, like why they did it at night, and how they the way that they went. I can't say things without spoiling it, so I'm trying to not spoil it for the people who haven't seen it yet. But the way they went about it and the reason for why people died in that opener, because people are going to die. Sorry, hopefully I'm not spoiling that. But
people died in the trailer.
It doesn't make any logical sense why they wouldn't have done certain things to take precautions against those types of things. Even the fact that, and I'm just going to say this, it took place at night. Like, why would you do that to yourself? Why would you go to a dangerous location with creatures that could kill you and not give yourself the freedom of being able to see easily?
Yeah.
Simple things like that.
Well, there are some throwaway lines that they threw at the beginning.
Yeah, there's one dinosaur in particular that gets loose at the end of the opener, and that doesn't make any sense how that happens, because in the first film that wasn't that, like the way that the things were connected just in the land, they completely changed that for this film. They're just like, oh, well, we're going to make this gate be connected to something entirely different,
right?
Which it wasn't in the first film if you actually watch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know
that was off. And then from there, it goes right into like, how can we manipulate the circumstances to get Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt back into this thing? And it just felt very like flat and like, okay, that's very obvious and very ridiculous. And I'm like, okay, fine, we got to get him back in here. And there's this setup, and like you see the twist coming as far as like how the
everything was super predictable.
Everything was completely predictable, but the shift into, okay, now these people are the bad people from when they were the good ones was completely, it didn't make any sense. If you actually think about what happens in the scene, nothing is like revealed, nothing is explained to Chris Pratt or Bryce Dallas Howard in regards to why these people are now the antagonists of the film, but they somehow then assume from then on that they are. And it's just by deep, like, it literally made everything that they were saying that they were going to do was taking place. And it wasn't like they were showing any bad signs of it. I mean, there's a little bit of roughness, but it was almost like Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard had seen prior films and been like, okay, we know it. These guys are going to betray us. Yeah. You know, so it just, that's the like I said, there's a bazillion things like that. And they all just kept building and building and building and building to the point where I got to the end of the film and I'm just kind of like, what? I don't even care anymore. Like, you're obviously just saying you think this would be the right way to go or what it would need to happen. And I didn't even care, you know? And that's the unfortunate thing about this movie is, they did do that. Like what you're saying is absolutely the case. They gave us an ending that is different and is leaving things open in a different direction that we've never seen before with the dinosaurs. And I should be excited about that. I should be wow.
But you don't care.
Yeah, but because they mishandled so many elements from this film and it felt like everything was so forced, I don't feel like they're going to be successful. I have no hope, in a sense, for where they're going to take it with the next one, because it's like, I don't think you are going to look at this and process it realistically or well.
Sure.
So
no, I get that. Let me just mention a couple other things. I thought the Indoraptor looked really, really cool. You see it in the trailer, but just kind of overall, I thought that was really, really cool.
Spoilers.
No, dude, it's everything. Actually, let me tell you the end of the story,
because I always accidentally spoil stuff, so that's why I'm giving you.
Let me tell you everything that happens in the movie because it's all in the trailers. Just kidding.
Yeah.
So, the Indoraptor, the new one that you see in the trailer, is
very strong teeth.
It's cool looking, yes, and Blue. I love Blue. I love Blue, the first one. Blue's my boy. Actually, he's probably my favorite character in the movie.
Blue went full on like hound dog.
So here's Blue.
That's the thing. The first movie
and Baby Blue, what you see in the trailers, I love. I love that.
The first movie though, Blue was more of like a controlled chaos in a sense. There was animal instincts that were always on the cusp and the verge of just breaking. Yeah. But there was a bit of a pack mentality that was there. This film full on embraced the whole idea of like, wow, that's your pet velociraptor.
So I feel like I feel like at the end of Jurassic World, the first Jurassic World, that's what they're using as their launching point, as to that solidified their relationship better. But the other thing I will say is, it's just because I love animals. I did get a little like emotional during one scene about halfway through the movie. I was like, oh, that's really sad. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, it was kind of sad. And I mean,
I was like, oh, I'm really sad. It's a fake animal. And my wife was with me. She goes, I know they were trying to make people sad. I was trying to feel sad, but I wasn't sad. And I'm like, but I was sad. So
I wasn't. I think they were too fake looking. I think if we'd spent the whole movie building up to that point, then it may have been a little sadder, but it came so quickly that it was kind of just like, and they're not like the thing is like it's not real.
Yeah,
you know, it's like it's not a real creature.
Well, that's why I thought it was
and
funny.
even in the shot, it looked completely CGI to me. So
I thought it looked good. I thought the CG looked really good. But anyways,
that's just difference of opinion there.
It's all good, and I'm actually really curious to see how you're going to rate this thing because I'm pretty sure I'm going to.
Do we want to do a brief spoilery thing or not at all?
No, I don't think we have.
There was two. Can I say this though?
Are we going to spoil something?
No.
Okay, go.
There was two scenes that were almost like winks to the camera from the dinosaurs in this film. And that just like, I don't really roll my eyes very often.
Right.
But those were eye roll scenes.
I know what you're talking about, but
Yeah.
I don't see it. I didn't see it as that. I thought it
I
was
mean,
just,
there was one with like I can't say without spoiling
right.
it, but
I know what
it's
you're
like,
talking about.
Yeah, one was with Blue, and one was with the
I didn't see that. I didn't
See, but if you know what I'm talking about, though,
I didn't
it's
see
like,
that
yeah,
though. Like I didn't see that as like at the camera, at the audience.
yeah.
So that's again,
If we had
difference
the
of
shot,
opinion.
I mean, yeah, like we could
It's
we could
okay.
absolutely see this. Yeah,
It's all good. I just think it happened to be looking our direction.
they just happened to place the camera there.
right.
It just happened to look at its eye at a certain time. It was almost comedic, where it was like, you know, and then like I was just, come on.
I didn't feel that way. It's all good.
It hurt, and then the part with, yeah, I mean, there was just.
Joel, why don't you just rate
I don't
this
need
thing?
dinosaur tears. That's the thing. I don't need dinosaur tears. That just, can dinosaurs even cry? Like, does that even happen?
We don't know. We don't know. Science doesn't know.
But
These aren't even
it's
real
such a
dinosaurs.
I
These
know.
are they're coated with amphibian and all these other kinds of.
But it's so overly
dinosaur DNA.
manipulated, and then the ending, the what kind of moment where it's like, that girl's what? How? Who? Does that even matter? It doesn't even matter. But why would you do that?
That part was okay. There's a part. There's a twist kind of at the end that I thought was handled very. It wasn't earned. I will say that. I don't agree. I don't
it
think
wasn't earned. And then the secondary twist that's a result of that twist was literally like, that was the only reason that they revealed that portion of the character.
Well,
and
that's all part of the same twist. I'm kind of throwing in the same thing. I don't think it was earned, but
it wasn't. Yeah,
anyways, I want you to rate it, Joel. What you got for
I'm
this
giving
thing?
it a 68. Yeah, D+. I can't give it better than that. It was some of the most overly simplified, shoddy storytelling from a good director that I know can do better that I've ever seen. And it just, characters made completely illogical choices. Reality was thrown out the window. I mean, Chris Pratt.
Reality?
Yeah, I mean,
It's a dinosaur movie.
To a relative sense, reality was thrown out there. Chris Pratt cannot outrun a volcano, an ash cloud. He can't outrun an ash cloud. And there's so many moments like that. Like, you know, oh, the dinosaurs are going to get hit every single part of this except for that one little part. And the T-Rex appearing at the perfect moment to like eat everything.
He's been doing that.
Literally,
he's been doing that since the first Jurassic
He had
Park.
one little role, and then outside of that, her job, was to legitimately show up at the right moment to eat something. That was the T-Rex job. And it was like, well, in the first movie, the T-Rex was like the big bad guy that you didn't want to mess with. And now we're just kind of like...
did that in the first movie. Showed up at the right time to save everybody.
Right. But that was the first time.
I know.
And then now, since then, everybody's been like, oh, well, we have to have that moment where the T-Rex does that thing that's like the righteous T-Rex moment. I mean, you should literally get a T-shirt
D+
that says righteous
67,
T-Rex.
68, is that what you said?
I said 68.
68?
Yeah.
I'm going 79. Boom! C+
There you
in it. I was actually on the border of this, talking about it a little bit. There's a lot of issues that I have with it, but I think, again, my love just for the franchise and how it's kind of played a part in my life, I will always kind of give it the benefit of the doubt and kind of lean towards. I wanted to like it more though than what I did. I do love. There's a few scenes in there that I thought were just tremendous action scenes, or a few tremendous, really really cool looking shots. I will say, but overall, it was too much. I felt like they were just trying to throw as many dinosaurs and action scenes in there as possible. That didn't help the story. But anyways, that's all I got. That is it for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. What did you guys think about it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you more on the side of Joel boy over here, or are you more on the side of me? Doesn't in between. Did you love it? Is your favorite movie of the year? Did you like it better than the Avengers: Infinity War? Email us. Let us know. And Joel's going to say something else right now.
There was a lot more I could have said. So if it doesn't make sense, why
I could tell I could tell you were biting your tongue.
I was. Well, I'm trying to hold back. It's a limited. I don't want to make this podcast go for 45 minutes of me ranting. And but.
It's all good. But yeah, let us know. Comments on the videos. Email us. Or reach out to us on social media. Let us know what you thought about it. And again, you can reach us Facebook.com, Twitter, Instagram @Real Review Media. realreviewmedia@gmail.com, our website as well, realreviewmedia.com. And Joel.
Jeff Goldblum doesn't even do anything in the movie.
He's in it for 5 minutes.
He shouldn't even have been in the movie. I'm spoiling it.
I said that at the beginning of the thing. I said he was in it for 5 minutes. It's all good.
I was like, what the heck?
He needed a paycheck, so they
Yeah.
got him on board. But anyways, anything else you want to add, Joel?
No, I'm good.
Nope. Okay. Been a pleasure hanging out with you. It's been real.
It's been real.